Welcome back to the Relationship Series. Here on the Relationship Series, we have transformational conversations that help you have better relationships. Today, we are reviewing top 10 communication hacks because if you've ever had a relationship with anyone, you know that one of the most challenging areas is communication. Like misunderstandings abound and overflow. It's like we're speaking different languages and then communication goes sideways and then people are blocking numbers, people are deleting profiles, people are quitting jobs, people are leaving churches. It's wild. So I slaved over this list of communication hacks, and I find that these are some of the best phrases that you can start using today. I use these phrases and they work, so you can start using them today. And if you use these, your relationships will thank you for it. So, top 10 communication hacks. Number 10. I'm not sure how to respond. Variations include, I don't really know what to say right now. Or, you know, there are many ways that I could respond, but I'm not really sure what direction to go in. So, why is this a communication hack? Because it replaces the pressure to sound smart or to say the right thing with the ability just to sit and be present. Like, that is it. I know most of the time, especially as a therapist, I want to sound smart and wise. I want to use all the theories and all the things, all the words. And I think this phrase tells our nervous system, like, it's okay. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to come up with some, wonderful, awesome plan. You can just, you can just be. So I think this phrase is, I think it's emotionally honest. I think it's responsible. Instead of pretending or performing, we just tell the truth, right? We're showing others that, and maybe reminding ourselves that it's okay not to have everything figured out. It's okay not to have all of the answers all of the time. And I also think that it can de-escalate like our emotional regulation, like when we're heightened and intense and overwhelmed in our emotion, or when there's like conflict present. Because sometimes people are just talking back and forth. People keep reacting. They're like saying one thing. And this phrase is like a pause button. It's like, I don't really know what to say to that. I'm not sure how to respond. And it kind of derails, the conversation in a good way. It's like it stops it or slows it down at least. So I use this often in sessions with spiraling clients. So clients, the worst is happening. Oh my gosh, life is ending. And I'll just like pause and just say, what, I don't really know how to respond. I don't even know if this is allowed, but I know that I do use it and it helps in some way. It slows things down and we're able to process differently. And I remember one day I had one client who was like so totally dysregulated and she could barely take a breath. Like snot, weeping, like just hysterical. And she was just like, and everything's ending and everything's going crazy and everything's, terrible. And I was right there with her, like feeling it. I was like, oh my God, there's nothing I can say to make this better or to make this sound good. So I just said, yeah, I'm not really sure how to respond to that. And she just burst out laughing. She just started laughing. And I was like, I get it. I get what it's like to be in that place where you are right now, where you don't know what to do or what direction to move in. And it reminded me that my presence is enough. Like the fact that I could sit there and connect with her was worth more than 1,000 coping strategies or solutions that I could come up with theoretically. So this phrase is powerful and it's honest, and you can start using it today, like right now in your communication to change things. All right, top 10 communication hacks. Number 9. So when you said or did XYZ, I felt blank. Or variations include when such and such happened, or when such and such happens, I feel blank. Other variations, my experience of this was blank, or I experienced a feeling of blank. And so we're talking feeling words. So we can say things like, I felt humiliated. I felt disappointed. I felt devalued. I felt surprised. I felt inferior. I felt vulnerable. These are emotion words. Okay. And so when we're talking about this communication hack, we're tapping into our emotions, and it is a very personal I statement. Why is this a communication hack? Because it forces you to own your stuff. It shifts you from blaming someone else to taking ownership of how you feel based on what someone else has done or said, or based on something that has happened. I think this is a hack because it really highlights our own emotional experience. And so it puts our emotional experience at the forefront as opposed to pointing a finger at someone else. So instead of saying something like, you never listen to me, you say something like, what do you feel like when someone doesn't listen to you, right? Like I know if someone's not listening to me, I feel neglected. I feel devalued, right? So when you speak in I language, you're not accusing. You're wearing your heart on your sleeve, essentially. And it's very vulnerable. It's a vulnerable place instead of a critical place, which builds safety and connection in relationships. So when we're communicating, we can hack the whole situation, de-escalate conflict instantly by saying, here is me, as opposed to this is you, right? When we say you did this, walls go up immediately. People get defensive. When you say I felt this, that can change the entire climate of the room. Like you say, I need you to respond to me. I need you to see me here, right? So then people can have empathy. I think it also models strength. Saying something like I feel disappointed or I felt, overlooked. It takes courage to do that. I think real connection comes from emotional honesty. And this is a way to be emotionally honest. I remember this is a past relationship. This is a true story. Past relationship. One day I was so frustrated. I said, you're being so rude. Like, are you a sociopath? Not one of my best moments at all. And definitely not an emotion. We don't always get it right. But what happened was that it ended up in a big argument, like a blowout, and then we stopped talking. Surprise. But what I meant at that time, even when I look back, was that I felt neglected. Like I missed the warm, fun way that we were used to engaging with each other. And that was changing. And I was upset about it. But instead of saying, I miss the way that we engage with each other, or I want that back, I said, like, why are you being so rude? So do you see the difference there? Why are you being so rude? And you know what? I really miss the warm, fun way that we used to engage with each other. So quick formula, I feel, which is the emotion, use an emotion word. Don't say things that like, I feel like you're dumb. That's not a feeling. So use an emotion word. I feel when, so when talk about the situation, and then because. I feel when, because. That is a quick way for you to understand how to use this hack. So I feel anxious when plans change last minute because I value being prepared. Easy statement, right? I feel when, because. Top 10 communication hack number 8. I'm sorry. Variations include I apologize, or I was wrong, I misunderstood. Why is this a communication hack? Don't sleep on an apology, okay? We often think that I'm sorry is like a sign of guilt, or what have you, but a sincere apology, like a sincere sorry, is a relationship game changer. It is a superpower. It disarms conflict, it builds trust, it restores connection faster than almost any other phrase known to man. It repairs emotional rupture in seconds. Seconds. So the things that you want to explain and you want to justify and you want to rationalize, and all you need is a sincere, I'm sorry. Think about the times you have offered an apology or you've received an apology, like a sincere one. I want to ask you a question. Did it make it easier for you to move forward, to heal, to get past something, to get over something, whether it was in a romantic setting, whether it was a family setting, whether it was, like at work with your boss? The reality is, people are going to hurt us. People are going to disappoint us. But an authentic apology can, I don't know if you've ever gone to a theme park and they have like a quick pass, you can go to the front of the line. Like a sincere apology is like a quick pass to the front of the line when it comes to healing. So most arguments escalate and get out of control because we're in defense mode, rather than like trying to resolve it mode or trying to repair it mode, right? We just want to explain ourselves. We want to justify why we did something. The I'm sorry shifts the attention back to the issue as opposed to, focusing on the self. So there's a saying that says me versus you, or us versus the problem. So when someone hears you take responsibility for your actions or for your behavior, then they're often willing to calm down and to hear your side. So it kind of resets the temperature gauge if we're talking like relationship climate or emotional climate. And we're talking a genuine I'm sorry, not like fake I'm sorries or whatever, or just I'm sorry. And this reminds me, actually, I dated a strange guy. I am 100% convinced this guy felt real pain when it came to like apologizing. He was like the king of the non-apology. You've heard of non-apologies. Like, I'm sorry you felt that way. Or like he would weaponize the apology, like I'm sorry, but you did XYZ, and so, or it'd be like, okay, I said I'm sorry. Like, what's the big deal? Like, I didn't even mean it like that. You're so sensitive, or you're overreacting. Like, bruv, are you like 6 years old? Like, keep your apology, eh? Like, so so we're talking about genuine apologies offered in a spirit of reconnecting, not a fake apology or like a weaponized apology or an apology just so you can point out somebody else's, bad behavior as well. Okay, so that's a hack. I'm sorry, and it's free, y'all. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay no money. So use it. You can start using it today. Okay, top 10 communication hacks and hijacks. Number 7. I like this one. Did I get that right? Variations include, is that fair to say? Or can I try that again? I'm not sure if it landed exactly how I wanted it to or how you meant it. Also, I could be wrong, but and then is that kind of what you meant? Is that accurate? Any and all of those are communication hacks. Okay, why are they communication hacks? Because they are tentative and they slow us down. So when you say something like, did I get that right? You're inviting the person to evaluate and to offer clarity. And most of us listen to respond as opposed to understanding. So this says, I'm actually trying to understand you, right? It forces us to pause, to reflect on what's been said, and then to clarify, like, is that actually what we're trying to say? Is that what we're talking about here? Is that the direction we want to go in? And I think it makes the other person feel seen and safe. It makes the other person feel seen and safe. When you hear someone reflect your words back to you, or when you reflect someone's words back to them, there's like an immediate response of like validation. If this has happened to you, I know this has happened to me, and I know I do this, and I've asked people like, what is that like for you? And they said they feel validated. They feel that their emotions have been acknowledged, and it creates like a bond. Even in the therapeutic field, we talk about therapeutic alliance or the therapeutic relationship. And this is a way to build trust, to build rapport, right? To create that bond with someone. You're reflecting their feelings, their emotions, you're reflecting what they mean. And you're using their words. So it keeps you from putting words in their mouths. I know there are so many times when misunderstandings come up because we're hearing what we want to hear. We're filtering it through our own experience, our own, challenges or problems or issues or worldviews. And so this slows us down and really gets us to think about what the other person is really saying as opposed to what we want to hear. So I do this a lot in therapy and maybe not so much in or as much as I would want to in real life. So I do this a lot in therapy, but not as much as I would want to in real life. In real life, I'm actually queen of the stories. Like I can come up with a story. Okay, like he didn't call me back because he didn't want me to come to the barbecue. Like she didn't come over because I don't have no kids and she doesn't want me to be around her kid. Like I can come up with stories for days. I'm telling you, silly stuff too. But I think my only saving grace is really that I'm not a super anxious person. So, and by a now I know that my version of the story is usually very dramatic and not close to the truth. But a lot of misunderstanding does come from those stories, and a lot of stress can be avoided with this one phrase. Like, did I get that right? Like, just checking in, just asking. And I know this happens. This has happened to me. I know this happens. We just kind of assume that we know what the other person is saying because we filtered it through our own experience, and then we act on that. So this can save our we can save ourselves a whole like bunch of relationship trauma and drama by just asking the question, just checking in, right? So then we act from a place of knowledge and knowing rather than from a place of ignorance or assumption, right? So use it today. Did I get that right? Top 10 communication hacks. Number 6. Ooh. Uh, what are you hoping that I'll say right now? Variations include how would you like for me to show up for you right now? Or what would you like from me right now? What would be the best way for me to respond to you right now? And I think this is a powerful communication hack, by the way. This is one of the most powerful. And it's a communication hack because it I think it reveals hidden expectations. So oftentimes in conversations, especially tough conversations, we're kind of talking a lot. We are saying a lot of words, we're speaking, but we're not saying what we want. So this question is a sharpshooter. Like this is like, what do you want? Without saying, what do you want? You're saying, what can I do? Right? So like, what are you hoping for here? How do you want me to show up for you? It gets straight to the desire or the need of the person and if the person doesn't know why they're talking, it gets them to think about that. So I think it tunes into the emotional need, and then it hijacks the fluff. Like a lot of conflict is actually not about the things that are being said or the things that are being talked about. It's about an underlying need that has gone unmet or unacknowledged. And so when we hit the need, we're getting to the crux of the issue. Because are we really big mad about the socks on the floor? I mean, probably not. But what do the socks on the floor represent? Like, is there a need for us there? Like, do we feel maybe taken for granted? Do we feel underappreciated? Do we feel used? Are we tired? Do we feel neglected? And then what is the need? How do we meet a need? Right? If we feel taken for granted, maybe we need to be appreciated. Maybe we need to be thanked for, picking up the socks off the ground every now and again, right? So when we ask this kind of question, we're saying, what is the need that you have and how can I meet that need for you? And it's so great because it clears the fog and kills the guesswork immediately. We don't have to be like, oh, I wonder what it is they want. I wonder maybe I can try this. Maybe I can try this. No, it's you're just asking. You're getting down to the nitty gritty immediately. And then like when you're unsure of what someone wants from you, it can be a really like it can be very like uncomfortable, right? You're uncertain, you don't know how to predict their reactions. So just ask them and let them tell you, right? They may want, you know, space, they may want an apology, they may want gratitude, they may want appreciation, they may want acknowledgement, they may want reassurance. They may want you to take accountability. They may, whatever they want, they can respond and tell you if you give them space to do so. And this communication hack gives them space to do so. And then you can respond accordingly instead of like doing the guesswork. I remember actually I coached a fighting wife. I called her the fighting wife because she just was always ready to fight with her husband. But she said she kept trying all these things like in her marriage to make it work. And you know, she would try like this 30-day program, or she would try to, sorry, do these 7 principles or whatever. And nothing was working, which actually meant she wasn't getting what she wanted. But she said she didn't know what her husband like how she didn't know what her husband wanted. And I said, "Have you asked?" And I coached her to ask her husband what he wanted. So she went and asked what he wanted. And he responded to her and he said, "I want you to fight for this marriage in this way." So he was very specific. And that changed everything. They probably came to maybe 3 or 4 more sessions, which in my opinion, was probably too soon to quit therapy because it takes time for new habits to form. But I digress. The point is that ask and you shall receive. Ask and it will be told to you. This hack opens the door for that and removes the guesswork and just a lot of stress. So use it today. It will change your life and your communication and your relationships. I promise you. I use it. I use that like a lot. Okay, top 10 communication hacks. Number 5. You know, I thought about what you said. Variations include, let's circle back. Let's circle back to that. Also, you know, your words really stayed with me, and I've been reflecting. I want you guys to feel this. Like when I say this, I hope you guys feel what's happening in the space that we're in together. Like, why is this a communication hack? Because it is a sign of relational investment and commitment. It lets people know that you weren't just present in the moment, that you took the moment further and you thought about it after the fact. It shows that you're willing to be present and to reflect. And I think this is powerful because it shows that you're invested in the relationship, period. I think most of us are used to moving really fast and furious. Like we were, you know, we got so many things going on a day-to-day basis. There's so much happening. And this phrase, like, you know, I took in whatever was said. I sat with it. I cared enough to revisit it, to think about it. I think it shows that you want to be truly connected to the person, and it builds on that after the moment. Like I remember there was, and we're not supposed to have favorites, I know, but there was a time earlier on in therapy, and I'm not supposed to have favorite clients, but you know, like parents aren't supposed to have favorite children. But a client came into session and said, I reflected about what you said last session and repeated my words verbatim. My heart melts. My heart melts. And obviously, it's happened a lot of times since then. And so I've gotten somewhat used to it and I can appreciate it. But I remember one of the first times that it happened, my heart just melted. I felt so valued, so respected. I was like, oh my goodness, what I'm doing is making an impact. It's making a difference. And that's how people feel when you say, I thought about what you said. When we extend ourselves, when we, connect with people, when we give of our time and our energy, sometimes we don't get anything back. I mean, obviously the time that we spend together, but sometimes we don't know what the impact is. I'll say it that way. And so when someone comes back and says, I thought about that, like there are few things that feel more validating than knowing that someone carried your words, you know, beyond the conversation that you had. And I think it also invites growth. right? It says we're open to growing because you can say, I thought about what you said and I revisited my opinion and I've changed my opinion. I think differently now. So that can even invite greater perspective and greater understanding. So yeah, use it, don't lose it. And don't lie. If you really haven't been thinking about what they said, then don't say that. But if you want to hack your communication and get better, then start thinking about the things that you've had conversations about and then revisiting them and then tell people, like, I thought about what you said. All right, top 10 communication hacks. Number 4, I care about this, but I need a break. Variations include, I care about this, but I need some space. Can we pause until later when I feel more calm? I'm overwhelmed right now, but I don't want us to miss an opportunity to discuss this. But I'm afraid I might say something I'll regret. So any and all of those can be communication hacks. I find that they're very relationship saving because a lot of times we actually find ourselves in crazy situations because we've said things that we can't take back. We can't unsay stuff. So I think this hack allows for us to avoid those potential damages and sort of relationship breaks. So I think one of the things that this hack does is it helps us to hold two truths at once. So I care about this, I care about you, and I also need to walk away because I need space. And I think it breaks us out of like all or nothing thinking because a lot of times people are like, "Oh, they walked away, they don't care about me and all this kind of stuff." No, that's not the situation. I think this hack disrupts that narrative, right? If they walk away, they don't care about me. You can be upset and invested. You can walk away and still care. You can be overwhelmed and still love people. Like all of that is possible. Instead of storming out, running off, ghosting because you're overwhelmed, you can just say what's happening for you internally. I need to take some time and I need to take some space. And it builds trust because the person knows that you're going to return. This is like emotional intelligence in motion, right? It makes room for self-regulation. It's not like impulsive or exploding. You're pausing to respond at a later time. So you're not running away. This is not me giving you silent treatment or punishing you because I'm disappointed about this situation. Understand that this taking space is not the same as stonewalling. Space is clear. It is clear, it is communicated, and it is temporary. You know when you're coming back. The other person knows when you're coming back. Stonewalling is like withdrawal, silent treatment, ghosting with no explanation. Right? So this is a great hack if you know that you're flooding, you're overwhelmed, and you need space. All right. Top 10 communication hacks. Number 3. Hold on, you're saying a lot. And I don't want to miss anything. Can we slow down? Variations include, I want to stay present with you, but there's a lot coming right now. Or, this is one of my favorites. It sounds like you're saying a lot of important stuff right now because you want to let me know what's going on for you, and I want to get it all, but I need it in smaller pieces, right? I use that a lot with clients because, sometimes in a first session they'll come in and they'll just be like, "Oh my God, this is the first time anybody's ever listened to me, my whole story," and they're gonna just, they just want to say all the things. So I want to say, I want to capture it all. I want to get all the pieces, and it sounds like you really want me to know all of the things, but I need them in smaller pieces, right? So this is a great communication hack because it honors what's happening on the inside of you with your own like nervous system, and before you shut down or you blow up or you check out, you're able to name it. So you're saying, hey, this is like emotional overload for me. I need to slow down a little bit. And sometimes when people are speaking, we go into what is it? Fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode. Like we react and our nervous system reacts or our brains react. And that doesn't honor the other person's need or desire to be heard. And it also it's not self-care, right? We want to be self-aware. We want to be self-regulated. So instead of, lashing out or shutting down, which are classic stress responses, we want to name what is going on for us. We have a limit. We have a threshold. We're reaching it in real time, and we want to communicate that. So this helps us to do that. And it's okay to interrupt in that way. Wait, wait, hold on. You know what? I actually want you to stop talking because I want to stay connected to you. I need for you to stop saying so many things because I want to be present with you. So it's not a rejection. It actually communicates care to that person. And sometimes it's a gift because, you know, they might feel like they only have a window to talk to you. Like, oh my gosh, I need to say all the things right now, immediately in the next 4 minutes. You're saying, no, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I want to listen to you. And I need for you to slow down so I can do that at my best. Who doesn't want that? Right? This happens to me often, again, in therapeutic settings, but also with children. I don't know if you've ever had a child tell you how their day went. Like, hey, little Johnny, how was your day? And they say like, oh, I went to school and then I went to recess and then I did this and then Sarah did this to me and then I went this and then with like no signs of slowing down. I think it's actually a cry for help in some way. Like, rescue me from this story that has no point and no ending. But but people become more anxious, it seems, like the more space you give them. It's like they have all this space. So sometimes we just really need to we need to like say stop talking. And it doesn't happen all the time, but I think when you can tell when people are kind of anxious, they're like, and then, I think it's a kindness to just say, hold on, let's just slow down. Because then you're responding and you're like, wah, wah, wah. You know, the Charlie Brown, all you hear is like, wah, 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 wah. And no, we want to get better at communicating. And I think a way for us to do that is to know our limits and stay with it, to know our limits, but also to communicate that to other people, right? We want to be intentional, we want to be active, and we want to just, yeah, be able to have better ways of communicating with each other. So hold on, calm down, not calm down, don't say calm down, slow down. I want to capture all the pieces, that kind of thing. All right, winding down. Number two, top 10 communication hacks, number two. Okay, I literally use this every day. I use this every day. So what I'm hearing is variations include, okay, let me capture that. Or let me make sure I got this. Also, sounds like, or seems like, or something like, if I'm understanding this correctly, or if I'm hearing this correctly, or something along those lines, right? This is one of the most transformative communication hacks. I literally use this every single day. Why is it a communication hack? Well, because it reflects the other person and what they're saying. It reflects the content of what they're saying sometimes. It helps you to paraphrase what they're saying, to get clarity, to get understanding. It's like a relational mirror, right? You're saying, is this what I'm seeing? Is this what you're saying to me? Am I showing you what you're showing me? Right? It's powerful for connecting to another human being. And plus it's active. It's active listening. Like instead of sitting sort of passively and you're kind of like, yeah, and you're kind of guessing whether or not you're getting it, it's like you're paraphrasing what you've heard, and that can help you better understand and also prevent misunderstandings. So it's like you're getting right in there. You're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, is this what's happening? Is this what you're saying? Is this right? It's active. It's energetic, right? And it invites the other person to also like communicate more clearly, right? So it's like if I do misunderstand, if I don't get it right, so if I say like, oh, is this what I'm hearing? And then the other person says no, well, then now that's a moment that they can gently clarify. And you know what? If you pair this with number seven, which was, did I get that right? So think about it. Someone says something to you, um, and you paraphrase it back to them. What I'm hearing is blank. Did I get that right? And you check in. So you paraphrase and you check in. This is relationship gold. This is communication gold right here. Paraphrase and check in. You can do that all day long. I literally do this every day. It makes people feel understood. It helps you to understand. And then when someone hears their feelings and stuff reflected back, they relax. They're like, whoa, yeah, that is what I said. Yeah, perfect. That's exactly it. They feel respected. They feel honored. And it's weird to do it at first because it kind of sounds redundant. It's like, why am I repeating what this person said? But just try it. Try it and watch your life change. No word of a lie. I had a friend, long-term friend, years and years and years. I went out, I tried this, and this was just me practicing the skill. And this was like 20 years into our friendship, and they were like, this felt different. I really felt different. Sitting with you today, I really felt seen and heard. And I was like, what? This is one conversation where I was like, what I'm hearing was wild. Anyway, try it. Your life will change. I promise you. You can start using it today. Top 10 communication hacks. Number one, this is my favorite. It is pure magic, and I use it so often. I can't, it's part of my repertoire. Say more about that. Variations include, let's unpack that. Or, is there more? Or tell me more. You can also do it in a like a nonverbal way, kind of like, with a head nod. Sometimes there's just silence. That can be big, right? You can also say things like, what else is coming up for you? Or what's that like for you? Right? This is a communication expander. It is such a huge hack because it flings the emotional doors wide open. It's an invitation. It is an open invitation for the person who is speaking. If someone is hesitant, if they are forthcoming, if they are unsure, if they are just starting to open up, if they are uncomfortable, whatever the situation is, they get to choose where they go. So whatever direction they want to go in, whatever topic they want to talk about, how much they want to say, they get to choose. So this communication hack, it communicates curiosity and willingness. Like, I'm wondering about what's going on for you, and I'm willing to hear whatever it is you want to say. It's like you're not jumping in with a response. You're staying in sort of discovery mode. You're not advising, you're not trying to fix things, you're not coming up with a solution, you're not trying to sound smart. It's like it's like a learning posture. Like, what do you want to say? Like, tell me more. Say whatever comes up for you. And it is so refreshing to have that space, to give someone that space, to hold that space. I know when someone has said that to me, I have felt like, whoa, this is great. Like I can just say the things. And when I first started therapy, I would have little like challenges for myself to keep like my skills sharp. I still do it now every now and again. But one of my challenges was doing full sessions by just like reflecting and opening up the conversation. Like, oh yeah, yeah, say more. Yeah. Okay, is there more? Is there anything else? Yeah. Okay. And I would just do full sessions like that, and clients would just feel so refreshed. And I'd, do little session evaluations, and they'd be like, yeah, I felt like I could just talk, and you were just great at listening and all these things, and they felt so validated just by having the space. So this is like, if there's any other, this is my favorite, so I'm just going to plug it. If there's any other communication hack that you use today, add this one to the list. Okay. Say more about that. Tell me more. What else is going on? All of that. Or just nod, inviting the person to say what they want to say. And what I've found also is that people sometimes test the waters. So they might reveal something like small emotionally, and like they might have something really big at the back of their mind, but they're kind of trying to gauge whether they can trust you, or whether you're going to interject or interrupt or judge them, or your facial expression is going to change and it's going to be like, oh whoa, I can't even handle that little thing, and they have this like big thing sitting on their shoulders. So not everybody is like ready to reveal everything, like their full trauma, I guess, right at the beginning. But you'll find that if they're sort of, saying little things, and you say something like, say more about that. Like they'll do that. They'll say more. They'll say more, right? So just give people room, and then they can take the space. And again, we're looking at communication hacks. So this improves our communication, right? So when people are testing you, don't try to jump in. Don't try to fix things, or redirect to yourself, or minimize whatever they're talking about by, oh well, that's an easy fix, or what have you. Like, people shut down. This is like, communication is for the purpose of connecting. So we don't want people to shut down. We don't want to shut down ourselves. So this hack helps us to practice both holding space, giving space. So yeah, top 10 communication hacks. I hope you guys are going to share this with someone and use them. Use them. Like I can't even tell you how this has changed my life. Like even that last one, just simple, like, I was kind of feeling weird lately. Oh yeah, say more about that. And suddenly people are like unpacking things they didn't even know they needed to unpack. And I'm talking perfect strangers. So we want to do the work of opening space, of communicating, of connecting, of transforming our relationships and these communication hacks. If you do them, I I promise you, I usually don't do guarantees, but I promise you they will change your life. They will change your life and your relationships will thank you for it. I want you guys to join us next week because next week we're going to be talking about top 10 red flags in sex and romance. You don't want to miss it. All right, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your fantastic Thursday. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week right here, 12 noon, Thursdays on the Relationship Series. I'm your host, Genevieve on the couch. It was a pleasure. Go ahead and have a revolutionary weekend.